أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. We continue with the explanation and reflection on the book of the hidden danger, which is the insincerity and being heedless from the main goal of our creation in this world, by Sheikh al-Buti rahimahullah. And uh, we stopped at when he mentioned that how people become distracted, whether they're individuals or they are groups or jama'as, with different affiliations, different names, different schools of thought. It doesn't mean that we are saying don't belong to a group or a jama'ah to serve the deen of Allah, but don't let that distract you from the main goal of you being created to worship Allah Azza wa Jal and to serve His deen subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes people also get caught in the Western or secular definition of gatherings or jama'as or unity or grouping or assembling. They get lost in that. And they forget that the nature of Islam and the nature of other intellectual schools of thought, there's a big difference because Islam in itself, it is based on being a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal in yourself and in your actions and in everything. But and it tells the Muslim to fix his own heart before anything, to be sincere for his master, who's Allah Azza wa Jal. But any other intellectual or school of thought, intellectual school or school of thought, it does not obligate people to do that. Um, uh, it's it doesn't matter. It doesn't say anything about your intention or about your inner self. So doesn't matter what you intend. It doesn't matter what you plan. It doesn't matter what you feel, as long as you are following the rules. And that's the major difference between Islam and any other ideology. Any other ideology, it just wants you to follow the rules and instructions and perform in a certain way. And now, whether you intend that for the benefit or for yourself, whether you're being selfish or selfless, it doesn't matter. And whether you do right or wrong, as long as it is the plan of the group or the ideology, then it's fine. So those are the two things. So a group of women or of men or of workers, of students, or whatever, business people, form to gather them together and serve their needs. If it is not based on Islam, it's going to have those two problems. One, they will draw the benefits. We need to be together to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a list. Now, are those things that we need to achieve halal and haram? This is not an issue. That's not basically an issue. As long as we see it as benefit, then it's in the business world. This is how you do business. In the medical world, this is how you do things. In the engineering world, this is how you do things. It doesn't matter. As long as we get the benefit that we decided it's a benefit based on our desire. Now, what's your intention? Are you sincere to the group? You're trying to be more, you're trying to, it doesn't matter either. So that's what a worldly ideology or secular ideologies, they are like that. Does not care about your intention and it does not mind about the moral code for the benefit. But when Islam comes, it cares about those two. Why are you doing what you're trying to do for the sake of Allah? Now, how are you going to do it? According to the way of Allah. What are you trying to seek? The pleasure of Allah. Period. And that's what the Sheikh is trying to say. That people become groups and all of that. We want to serve, we want to do da'wah, we want to do this, we want to do that. But at the end of the day, sincerity is not there. So people will show off, people want to achieve certain things. And the goal sometimes is compromised. Uh, and that's why people don't want to work on fixing their heart. And people become very defensive. You talk to a brother or a sister about sincerity and all that. I said, don't judge me. You don't know what's in my heart. My heart is full of iman. So become very defensive. Actually, you should be thankful. If anybody tells you أصلح نيتك or work on your intention, make sure your intention is clean. So are you accusing me? That's being defensive. So that's a sign actually that there is a problem. Whoever reminds you, as we'll see in a minute, whoever reminds you who you are and what your intention should be, you should be thankful to. وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء. You see, Allah Azza wa Jalla said that people before they were doomed because they did not follow the main order, the simple order. What's the simple and main foundational order? Is to worship Allah sincerely in all their affairs. Then وَيُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمُ. Then comes the action and the practice. But people focus on the action and the practice, and they don't want anybody to talk about intention. You talk to a sister who's not wearing hijab, said, don't talk to me about that. My heart is sincere. If your heart is sincere, it will show. If your heart is sincere really to Allah Azza wa Jalla, will Allah tell you to put hijab on? So why are you not putting hijab on now? It's not like tomorrow, it is now. It is not about your desire, it's not about what you think. And that is the issue that the Sheikh is talking about here. If the issue is clear, that why are you supposed to do what you're supposed to do, then you will not hesitate. It's either I am not doing it, I am sinful, and I'm wrong, and I need help. That should be the answer. I need help. I'm not strong enough. I have my desires overtaking me. Please help me out. Yeah, we understand that. But don't come and say, it is based on iman. Or look at all these women with hijab, they are bad and they are doing all of that. What do you mean, yani? Like, what do you mean? Allah ordained hijab, and because all the women or most of the women wearing hijab, they are bad, so let's cancel hijab for you. Is that what you're saying? Or a brother said, look, all these brothers with beards, they are like, cheaters. So what do you mean, yani? Ignore what the Prophet ﷺ said because the followers are not good. It's like really? It's like, you know what? It makes you wonder sometimes, like what's going on? Like, like what are you truly saying here? So that's what the Sheikh is saying, like, because we lost our moral compass, we are here to worship Allah. You are a slave, SLAVE. I don't care what the connotation of slavery here in the United States is. It's not going to make me change the word that I'm abdu of Allah. Slave means slave. I am owned by Allah Azza wa Jal. A human being puts a chain on your neck and make you a slave. That is the picture or the manifestation that we do not want. But being a slave to Allah Azza wa Jal means you are the freest person that can be. Means nobody else can enslave you. I would rather be a slave of one who is the one above everybody than being a slave to anybody under him. But if I don't want to do that, then I will end up being a slave to everybody else. See the irony of the things. So the people think that they are free and they're becoming slaves. And they don't want to be a slave of the one and they end up being slave to his creation. What would you rather do? Be slave to one and we are all slaves to him, so we're all equal? Or somebody slave to their desire, somebody slave to their lust, somebody slave to their spouse, somebody slave to their children, somebody slave to their job, their prestige, their status, you know? What? Then, people always argue with that. So the whole idea is do not lose focus who you are. I am the slave of Allah, and Abdullah, and Amatullah. Type why this master of yours brought you over here. He brought you over here to spend some time so he can treat you for eternity according to this sometime. So I'm not going to lose sight of that. I'm not going to be distracted from this time. And the Sheikh actually mentioned an example. He said it's like a student who is in the exam room. They are doing a test, like whatever test, like SAT or or MCAT or whatever the test is, and they are sitting there in the hall for the test. And when they started the exam, they felt thirsty, so they asked one of the supervisors there, I need to have a drink of water. So they brought them a drink of water in a very nice cup. So they drank the water and they started looking at the cup, how beautiful the cup is, how beautiful the glass. This is made of crystal, and who is the manufacturer? Beautiful. Look at this transparent glass and all that. And they forgot that they are in the exam room, that they have a test, and the time is running very fast, and their future academic future is based on this test, and they do not have another chance. They cannot retake it. So what do that student need at this moment? They need somebody to wake them up, tell them, hey, wake up. This is the exam, and this is, you're wasting time looking at that. So they need somebody to bring them back. So that's exactly what the Quran does. That's exactly what the Prophet sent for. That's exactly why you have 5 daily prayers. That's exactly when Ramadan comes, you have to fast. That's exactly when you're able, you have to give zakah and do hajj. That's exactly, you have to give the zakah. Yes, constant reminders, you know, daily reminders, weekly reminders, monthly reminders, life reminders, annual reminders, all the time to bring you back because of those distractions in this world. So you have to know who you are, you belong to who, and Allah Azza wa Jal, what He's asking from you and how you should do it. So that's the medicine right there. So once you decide what is the medicine, then how you use it. So that is why an individuals, families, societies, groups, the whole ummah, they are lost because of that. They lost their purpose, they lost their identity, they lost their purpose, and they don't want to be reminded. Again, they lost their identity. They forgot that they are abd of Allah, am of Allah, slave of Allah. They lost their purpose to worship Allah Azza wa Jalla, and we are here in a time frame, and we're going to leave, and we're going to be accounted according to it. And they don't want to be reminded. When somebody reminds them, they become, their ego starts showing up, and then they don't want to be reminded. You see the problem? Remember this, sisters. Lost their identity, lost their purpose. They don't want to be reminded. It is a triple problem. So you start untangle this by going backwards. Whoever gives you advice, say Jazakallah khair, regardless of their intention, even if you are 100% sure they want to expose you or bring you down. Don't worry about it. I was talking to somebody today for almost an hour. He keeps saying, like, the people think about me like this, the people think about me like this, and I feel bad about this. I said, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about what people say. What they are saying would help you if you take their advice, would help you to become a better person. You say, yes. I said, do it. Forget about their intention. They want to bring you down. They want to score against you. There is some payback. Whatever it is, don't worry about it. Let it go. Take the good that comes out and act upon it, and sift out, rule out all the bad things, clear it out. خذ ما صفى ودع ما كدر, as Imam الشاطبي said in his الشاطبي يعني. Whenever you have water, somebody shakes the water, then the dirt becomes murky, the water becomes murky. So wait for it and take the clear water and leave don't say, oh, the water has all of this. No, just take the part that is clear. Don't worry about the other one. Okay? And that is uh, the main issue why because people forget their identity and forget their purpose. Um, Also, selfishness, individualism. This is the culture of individualism, culture of materialism. What is the main problem in the culture that we live in, a world culture? I'm not talking about America or Middle East, but the whole world culture now is becoming very materialistic and very individualistic. And when those two are there, this is the end of it. Materialistic means everybody wants the money, wants the show, wants the house, wants the car, wants the dress, wants how they look, how they feel, lust and desire and fulfillment and gratification. Materialistic. The physical world. So the ruh is not satisfied. The ruh is chained, is imprisoned, it is suffocated. Ruh means soul. We are created from two parts, heavenly part and earthly part. Earthly part is heavy, earthly part is flesh, earthly part is material, earthly part is selfish. Okay? Heavenly part is light, is soul, is transparent, is clear. Okay? And it is abstract, it is not materialistic, it is not tangible. It's something beautiful, shiny, light. So it depends if there is a balance or you let one lead the other. You cannot live completely spiritual in this material world. That means we're not in this world. That's when we die. And you cannot live carnal and become like an animal if you take the body. So you are toward either one when you, so some of the Sufis, they try to go to the spiritual while they are in this world. So they abandon people and they start dressing ragged clothes and they start secluding themselves and all of that. But we're in this world to mingle with people. They don't have the balance. They become detached and they become imbalanced. They don't fit in this world and they struggle. They become miserable. And some people, they go all the way to their lust and desire and their carnal needs and their worldly, materialistic. So that's a problem. So this world is materialistic and it is individualistic. Now, this culture of now is like me, I, and mine. I, me, and mine. That's what I want. The whole world is there to make me happy. That's why, you drive your car, you get out of the house, you want everybody to be according to you. So if anybody passes you or cuts you or anything like that, you don't want. So we drive. I drive. I may cut somebody. I don't feel bad about it. I feel like, I want to get earlier to my work. So I'll do what it takes. So I cut people off and all of that. And that's for me, it's smart. It's good. But if somebody does the same to me, I don't feel good about it. I'm sure all of us go through this. Think about it, reflect on it. That's exactly what selfish and individualistic culture is. So don't think about others, think about yourself. You will see me and you doing it daily within your home. See, I go even within your own spouse. You will do things with your spouse that you don't allow your spouse to do to you. You want to raise your voice, but if they raise their voice to you, you're not happy. You want to order them around, but if they order you around, you're not happy. You know, you want to give them direction and feel like you are the one who understands better than them. And if they do the same, you're not happy. You see, with your children, same thing, and children with you, the same thing. That is exactly the disease that the Sheikh is talking about, because from inside, we lost it. So that's why all these manifestations come. I know it's hard. I know it is bitter. I know it doesn't taste good, whatever I'm saying. I know. It's very hard. Actually, when I'm talking to you now, I'm remembering the situations that I exactly did that. And it's not nice. It's not good. This is anania, this is selfishness and individualistic. So put individualistic with materialistic and we're doomed.
Hmm.
We are doomed. So that's why every single prophet, Nuh alayhi salam, Hud alayhi salam, Salih alayhi salam, Shu'aib alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, all of them come to do what? You belong to Allah. Don't worship other than Him. Hmm? And and be nice to each other. They bring the jama'ah together. They want their community to do the same exact thing. Because if they worship Allah and they take their orders from Allah and they follow their prophet, they're successful. So they are not materialistic, they are connected to the heavenly, divine part, and they are not individualistic, they work as a jama'ah. And that's what the Sahaba did. Each one of them is individual, each one of them is material. When they come to Rasulullah sallallahu they do the shahada, they become brothers. Bilal is the brother of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, is the brother of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, is the brother of Abu Dharr, yani rich and poor, and it doesn't matter. They are all brothers, they love each other for the sake of Allah. See? And that is what happens. A very rich person should not feel awkward, or a poor person should not feel awkward when they meet each other in the salah. They stand beside each other. There is no line called the line of the rich or the line of the healthy or the line of the. There's no such a line in salah. It is not based on that. Whoever comes first is the best. إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. The one who obeys Allah Azza wa Jal and avoids his prohibitions is the best to Allah Azza wa Jal. It doesn't matter what all these things is for us to function in this world, is to have the ecosystem, is to kind of help each other, you know. But internally, you should be proud that you are a human being and you are a slave of Allah. I'm a slave of Allah and you are a slave of Allah. Khalas. Now you have some money, I have some knowledge, and you have some health, and she have some children, and they have some education, and the other one have some status. Okay, this is for us to function together as a community. Yeah, it's good. But the minute the main cause here or the main purpose diminishes, then our eyes start looking to what we're missing and others have that we don't. Yeah. So when you start being hungry or greedy or covetous of what people have and you don't, that means the identity that you have, that you are a slave of Allah and you are here to worship Him, is not strong. Is not strong. And once it's not strong, then this material and individual will surface. And once these two surface, then you start seeing your shortcomings. You start seeing, it's like Iblis. He whispered to Adam, so he started seeing his own defect. That's the idea. So when Allah covers you, Allah covers you. When the more you are with Allah, all these things are means. They do not make you a better person. Yes, I dress a nice clothes, but it does not make me a better sheikh. It doesn't make me feel that I am richer now or I am a better person now. No. Yeah, I look good for another purpose because I'm a slave of Allah who needs to be looking good for people to accept and to listen to. But I don't feel that I take my value from the clothes I'm wearing or the car I'm driving or the house I'm living in or the accessories I'm flashing. That's not where I get my value from. And that's why whether I have it or I don't have it doesn't matter. Okay, so those are the issue. So when a person is individual, that's the problem. Also, when people are in group, they kind of forget the reason why they are in a group. So we are now a group of the sisters mentorship class. We forget the purpose of the mentorship and what we try to achieve, and we become classifying. It's either you are with us or against us. You are only good if you are in this group, but you are of this group, you are of a less value. And that also becomes another disease, which is the Jama'ah disease. Yani when you are alone, you have the disease of being individual. When you are with the group, you have the disease of being self-righteous as a group. Like our group is the best and nobody else. So every group, religious group or something like that, they think that they are the true Muslims and everybody else is less of a Muslim. I'm not going to say bad Muslim, but less of a Muslim. You should be lucky that you are in our Jama'ah. But if you are not in our Jama'ah, means you're not a good Muslim. You're not good enough. And that's also another disease, comes from the heart of the person. And instead of an individual mistake, it becomes a group mistake. Our loyalty and disassociation is based on Allah. Al-wala' wal-bara' lillah azza wa jal. So a person who does not belong to our Jama'ah, we can actually learn from, we can be educated from, he can actually guide the whole Jama'ah while not being part of it. No issue. All right? So that's why a Jama'ah is for more discipline, for more organization, for more encouragement. What we achieve as a group is better than what we achieve as an individual. All of these are good, nice, beautiful. But never think that because you are in this Jama'ah, you are a better Muslim than those who are not. That's a very dangerous aspect, and that's what brought actually the Muslim Ummah behind. When groups started fighting against each other, each one is thinking that they are better than others. And they don't associate like al-haqq with individuals. Haqq is haqq, whether it comes from this individual or that individual, whether it comes from a group or a person. Haqq is haqq, whether it comes from a right person or wrong person. Haqq, we know. Allah Azza wa Jalla says there is a universal haqq, universal truth, universal justice. So whoever establishing it all right, we wish that haqq is established by the good people, but sometimes there is a tyrant, there is a bad sultan in morals, a bad authority. Morally, they are bad, but they're establishing justice among people. We take the justice, we don't take their morals. We don't endorse their morals, but we endorse their justice or the good that they are doing. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the Khalifa was unjust with him, with whipping his back while he's fasting, almost died. But he made dua to the same exact Khalifa to win against those who attack the land of Islam. And people saying, well, what is wrong with him? Yes, because he knows that him as an authority is one thing, and him as a person punishing him is another thing. Yeah, in this here, I am not endorsing. I'm going to ask Allah for my right from you, but now you have a job to do for the ummah. I'm not going to take my transgression as an individual and waste the benefit for the Muslim ummah and the community. You see the beautiful understanding here? I wish we do that in our jama'ahs and our communities. I don't take my personal victory and trying to make a point and use the whole community for my sake. No. Yeah, people can support and whatever, but I'm not going to deviate. No, if a person wronged me, but they are benefiting the jama'ah, alhamdulillah, bismillah, continue. May Allah can make you continue benefiting the jama'ah. But between me and you, in front of Allah, I'm not going to give that up. I still have grievance individually. But you, the one who's transgressing me, is benefiting the jama'ah, continue. I want you to continue doing that. But I'm not happy with what you did to me. I hope you understand the very thin line here. It's a silver lining, it's very important. But unfortunately, when one of us have a problem with someone, we do not want the whole world to talk to that someone. We want them to perish. We want the whole world to kill them, against them. I want the whole world to side with me. And that's sickness, that is disease, that's weakness of the heart. Weakness of the heart. And that is where backbiting comes and namima comes and people go slander others because of that. Because of that. You have an individual issue with someone, and that someone is beneficial. I'm not talking about that someone is hurtful to others. Yeah, that one you have to warn people from. Yeah, I agree with you. Like if somebody's hurting me and hurting you and hurting her and hurting him and hurting everybody, no, we have to make a stand against that person. We have to stop that person from doing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't let your individual grievance make you transgress the society or use the society for your own sake. That's a disease. That's also sickness in the heart. Right? ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. Don't let the transgression of or your hatred for some people not to be just to them. Not be just. Give everybody the right. So everything that the Sheikh is saying that the Muslims are suffering from individually or communal level, and all these problems and the calamities they're on, it's coming from coming from this major disease of the heart that does not have enough truthfulness and sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is because it's not there, they are attached to the dunya, it's distractions, money, status, and social achievements and gains and lusts and desires. So everybody starts competing with each other and putting themselves over the others and not loving for others what you love for yourself, and hearts become enveloped with all of this covetousness and filled with grudge and hatred and envy, and everybody's looking toward the others with degrading and look of competition and doubting each other, and subhanallah. And when our enemy saw that in us, it was very easy for our enemy to divide us and to control us and to goad us, not guide us. Goad means like sheep, yani someone with a stick behind the sheep telling them where to go, right or to left. And then, they are actually leading us to a cliff that we are going to throw ourselves from it. And you find now another trend coming, which is the outward religion. Like religion becomes just a routine or certain practices. People go for Umrah and Hajj, and they do the fasting and they give the zakah and they give the charity. It's kind of routine, and they pray. It's like a routine. There is nothing that comes into the heart and affects the heart. We're not saying that this is everybody. We're saying, but this becomes common now. Um, Now, I hope the Sheikh said, I hope you understand exactly the disease. So, if you don't understand the disease, then you'll not understand the medicine. You'll not understand the treatment. You'll not understand the shifa or the healing or the reasons for it. Because he says that, understanding the problem is halfway to the treatment or to the solution. So, he said, you have to understand this. You have to believe in what we just said so far, diagnosing the problem. And he said that whenever I'm giving you the medicine, I'm giving it to myself first. So don't think one of us is better than other, or I am saying it from doctor's perspective, and you're a patient, and I'm the healthy and you're the sick. No, we're talking with each other now. That to treat ourselves. So this medicine is prescribed for me before you, the Sheikh says, and I am telling you the same thing. Then he gave the example of the student in the exam or the test hall who forgot where he is. He has to be reminded. So he said this reminder is the medicine, is to constantly be reminded and remind each other and remind ourselves what is our identity in this world and what is our purpose, what is our job description that we are created for. And whenever we get distracted from it, we have to have those flashing lights. I always say red light and red line. I always say that in any relationship in this world, for yourself, for myself, I have something called red line and something called red light. Red line means you cannot trespass no matter what. Red line. This is haram. Stealing haram, zina haram, killing haram, this haram, this haram. The red line. At all times, you cannot do. Period. And the red light will start like flashing for you, means you stop at this time. And when it turns green, you move. And when the red light is flashing, it's a stop sign. You have to watch, then you move if it is safe. So in our life, there have to be those constant reminders. A red light. Red lines are established. You have to have those red lights, flashing red lights at all time, daily. So that's how you do it, and that's how you ask your spouse. You become reminder for your children reminder from you. You have to agree. Like we agree, for example, let's have a culture at home that we make sure that we all prayed. So when we wake up in the morning, Assalamu alaikum, sabah al khair, good morning, how are you doing? Did you guys pray? Do you want to pray? Are we going to pray together? So we have to agree on a system that we check on each other's prayer. Zuhr, when the children come from school, from university, or when parents come from work. Welcome, Baba, welcome back, Mama, welcome back. Children, did you guys pray Zuhr? Okay, do, and we'll pray together. Okay, go ahead and pray. Love, go ahead and pray. Habibi, go and pray. Like that. I'm just giving you an example. So we become constant reminders for each other to remind ourselves of the identity. It starts with little things like that. Tawan Salah is not little, but I'm saying about this little reminder. It takes very little. That's what I mean. A spouse reminds her spouse or his spouse, did you pay zakat this year or not? Let's do like we do spring cleaning. Like, okay, you would pay zakat before Ramadan or in Sha'ban or whatever. We pay zakat, or we do filing our taxes, connect the two. We're filing our taxes at the same time we pay zakat. So a reminder. Fasting, are we going to fast? Let's fast 3 days a month. Let's fast 2 days. Constant reminders. Step number 2, if one of us as a family or as a community or as a class or as a jama'ah falls in the trap of shaitan or have weakness, have someone who's your confidant. someone that you confide in and say, you know what, I don't like myself, like I did something wrong and all of that. And, you don't have to say what, but to say, I need some advice, I need some help, and go from there. Read a lot, study a lot, constantly read the Quran. It will be a good reminder for you. If you read the Quran daily, if you do dhikr daily, it reminds you who you are. That's why many people don't understand. They just take it as another task. When I tell them do adhkar al-sabah wal-masa or do subhanallah, they say, oh, another task. Or they take it as a treatment, like, literally. Okay, now I'm not feeling good, so Sheikh Mamduh told me the ruqya, I do the ruqya until I feel good, then I stop. No. Those are your constant reminders. This is your ilaj, this is your medicine. Constant reminder. So I am giving you constant reminders. I told you how we remind each other and how can we remind ourselves. When you open the Quran daily and read one page or two page or one juz or whatever it is, that is your reminder. When you do dhikr in the morning and at night, that is your anchoring. You're anchoring yourself. That is the time for my self reminder. It is like an alarm clock, an internal automatic self automated alarm clock. Every time you open a book of knowledge, remind every time you come to this class, this is your reminder. You're going to remind yourself, what am I going to do good today? And so on and so forth. That is why قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. Say my salah, that is the part of worship. My nusuk, يعني my dhabiha, that is the food and everything. ومحياي, all my life, ومماتي, and the die belong to Allah Azza wa Jal. So that covers everything. That's a constant reminder. Constant reminder. Um, the job that we describe, we now that is our identity. Now, what is the job? We have to behave accordingly. If you belong to Allah, then you have to watch for Him all the time. You have to see what He is asking you to do. I'm going to eat what He did. I'm going to dress what He did. I'm going to get married what He did. I'm going to divorce what He did, tell me to do. Having children, how He told me to do. That's your job. And that is how you get the highest goal, the highest value. What is your highest value? Is to please Allah. And that's why I ask people when they get married, for example, I say, why you want to get married? I said, because I want to settle. I said, okay, why you want to settle? I want to settle to establish a family. Why you want to start a family? I want to have meaning in life. Okay, why you want to have meaning in life? You see, you keep asking them like that until they stop. If they are a Muslim, I said, because this is what Allah wants. Okay, so why are you doing what Allah tells you? Also, He become pleased with me. I said, that is your higher value. Because there's nothing comes after that. Why do you want Allah to be pleased with you? Because if He's pleased with me, He'll take me to Jannah. Okay, خلاص. That's what comes after that? Nothing. Your highest value is when you don't have an answer after that. That is why a materialistic person or a kafir or a non-Muslim, their highest value is always worldly. Worldly. Even when you say that, I want to be happy with myself. That's it. Happy with yourself. What is the manifestation of that? Oh, I'm satisfied. Okay, when you die, you don't have that feeling anymore. You see, that feeling is going to go away. But we as a Muslim, when you say, when Allah is pleased with me, that's eternity. You see, that's eternity for us. Because when Allah is pleased with you, that's an eternal thing. There's nothing comes after that. But anything a non-Muslim or a non-religious person say is going to end with their death, right? I wanted to help this world. Okay, you help this world and this world will cease to continue. This world will finish anyways one day. So you help this world temporarily. You want people to be happy with you. That's temporary. Either they die or you die or both of you die or the world will finish. So there is an expiration date of what you want to achieve. Whatever it is, there is an expiration date for it. Except that one. Allah being pleased with me. Because Allah does not finish. And anything comes from Allah will not finish. Like, when Allah is pleased with you, it's not going to finish. Allah forgive you, you died and you are forgiven by Allah. That's it. You're going to enjoy that eternally. See? So that is the idea. Everything in this world is the means, is the pathway to achieve the goal, which is pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. So the outcome of this session today is to know our identity, is to know the purpose of our creation, and to act accordingly. And be reminded all the time. Remind ourselves who we are. Then we will know what is our job. And once we know our job, we know our identity. That's why I told you people lost their identity. Then they don't know the purpose of their creation. And they don't want to be reminded because they have ego. They are individualistic and materialistic. So we have to reverse engineer. So now we say we are not materialistic and individualistic. We are with the group, we are with the Jama'ah, we are the Ummah, we are part of humanity. So I need to know what is my benefit to others. Why I'm doing that? To please Allah Azza wa Jal. So that is now the purpose of your creation. Now you go back and I am the servant of Allah Azza wa Jal. You see? So you go backward and you understand exactly. So where do we start fixing? Fixing our individualistic, materialistic involvement. Fix that first and be reminded and listen and have a balance between the spiritual part and the group part. So I'm not selfish. I care about others and I want to help them. I want to leave a legacy behind. Hmm? And all this material of this world are means. What is the goal? Is to please Allah Azza wa Jal. Why you want to please Allah? Because He's my master and I'm His slave. See? Come backwards. Once you anchor yourself to being the slave of Allah, Alhamdulillah, you are saved now. MashaAllah. It will humble you. It will give you a sense of purpose. So everything is a means, but the real goal is to please Allah Azza wa Jal. So when Allah He gives you, you'll be thankful. When He takes away from you, you'll be patient. And you know that both are good for your dunya and akhirah. If Allah gives you, means it is good for you. If Allah takes from you, it's good for you. I'm patient and I'm being a servant of a slave of Allah. And I'm being thankful and I'm a slave of Allah. Allah said about Sayyidina Sulaiman, who was given everything, he's the best slave of Allah because he was grateful and thankful. Ayub alayhi salam, everything was taken from him. He was the best slave of Allah because he was sabir and self-controlled and patient. That's why Rasul Sallallahu told Abdullah ibn Abbas, when you ask Allah. When you seek help from Allah. And know that the whole humanity, the whole ummah, if they gather to benefit you with something, they will never benefit you except with something that Allah Azza wa Jal ordained on you. This is yours. And you know that if they gather to harm you with something, they will never harm you except with something that Allah ordained that will happen to you. Yeah, we love our children, part of the dunya. We love our wealth. We hate to lose it. There's no issue. This is fitri. That is innate. That is natural. But don't let that love become an attachment to the level that it distracts you from real cause. Remember, they are means. And ask Allah to have more rizq, ask Allah to have more children, ask Allah to have more comfort. No problem. But let that thing be in your pocket, but not in your heart. It is like the ship that it is carrying you. And the water is all this rizq and dunya and all of that. This is the water that's carrying the ship. The ship is your heart. Now, if the water comes inside the ship, it is going to sink it. Inshallah, next time we'll talk about how to use this treatment in different ways, inshallah. Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu sallam wa baraka ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Anybody have a question? طيب جزاكم الله خيرا. Sister Siti, you can stop the recording, inshallah.